Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Spin Cycle podcast talking to the brands, the groups, and personalities that make London, the UK, an incredible place to be a cyclist. It's going to be season reflections. NJ and I. NJ, how you doing, mate? Just the two of us this
I'm,
week.
I'm all good. I'm all good. Spring is starting to spring. You've got that anticipation for
Mm,
good weather.
mm,
I went out on my bike this morning and it was light. It was what? I think the sun's rising about 6:15. So
yeah,
we're nearly
I
there.
think I think I saw something on Instagram that was like, um, it's not going to get dark before 7 p.m. now until October.
Oh, that's what we
I
like to
don't,
hear.
I don't know. I don't know if that's one of those like like your aunt shares that on Facebook. Happy news, everyone, kind of thing.
Is it a Facebook conspiracy? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, that and Kate Middleton. So maybe I need to kind of get into that one.
Oh,
Oh,
we'll talk
mate,
more about Kate Middleton later.
for
I
bringing
am.
the people.
I'm involved in that. Just
Yeah,
I've watched all the TikToks that come on Twitter. I've watched all I've read everything. I'm in deep. I'm worried for her.
I'm only in by accident, if I'm honest with you. I tried to keep away from it, and then I saw there's an article in the FT, and I was like, okay, now it's gone global. And once
Oh,
that gets on their front page, that's like you got to read this now.
I do. I do.
Ah. So, just the two of us, topics to talk about this week. Why don't I've seen the list. The list is quite good.
We're not going to cover all of it, but the list
Yeah, because
is
some of them are
it's a
fucking
bit
maniacal,
deranged.
mate. Some of them are
The
maniacal.
list,
You're gonna get taken away in a van.
yeah, the list I wrote is a bit deranged, but it's great. Hopefully, it's a great listen.
Right, go on, kick us off. What's your first thing to bring to the mad episodes of the two of us?
Have you have you ever had a decadent hot chocolate before getting on Swift? Because I would not recommend it. It was so I got given some hotel chocolat, like dark hot chocolate. And sometimes I don't want a double I don't want I stop drinking caffeine in the afternoons.
Okay,
So I didn't want a decaf coffee, but it was kind of cold, like a couple of weeks ago. So I thought I'd have a hot chocolate before doing like a 90-minute Zwift ride, and I had it, and I felt so nauseous afterwards, like before even getting on the bike. And I was like, in my mind, you're just like, this is a mental thing. As soon as I'm on the bike,
sorry.
I feel much better. I
Yeah,
did not feel much better. This is
really.
like 90 minutes of thinking you might vomit, but I didn't.
So,
So have
hotel
you had
chocolate.
any food or drink before going on a turbo which you've regretted?
Uh, yeah. So first of all, hotel chocolate. That after listening to this, they're not going to come on as a show sponsor now. I'm guessing. Um, yes, I have. Uh, there was a. They don't make them anymore, but Science and Sport for a while
Was
made.
it that menthol
Uh,
stuff? Was it menthol?
yeah, yeah. So they were turbo specific gels, and I think it was um a lockdown thing because everyone was
I
on the
remember having
turbo.
it. Gels
Yeah,
and powder.
yeah. So I bought the gels in Sigma, and they were doing something where you had to buy like three boxes at a time. Or no, I know what it was. I'm a cheapskate, so I didn't want to pay for the postage. So I think I bought three boxes of gels. Anyway, I quite like menthol things, right? This is when I smoked as well, because
I was
you
going to
know,
say, little menthol cigarette.
yeah,
Classy move.
the menthol kind of, I didn't really taste that much, and the menthol helped with dialing the taste in, you could say. And they 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 were like old cold cigarettes. And if people here have smoked, they know what it smells like. Your clothes smell like after you've been around smoking. And double whammy, I used to put them in the fridge because I thought cold menthol would like really, really get me mentholated. You know what I mean? Don't
You put
half-ass
cigarettes.
anything. Whole-ass
We're gonna.
everything.
You put cigarettes in the fridge.
No, 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 no. I put the menthol gels in the fridge.
Oh, I thought you were still like, I saw you put like packets of cigarette in the fridge and I was just about to lose it.
No, 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 no. Sake of clarity. So I put the menthol gels in the fridge. I they don't sell them anymore. I'm pretty sure, right?
Probably, I haven't seen or heard anyone take it.
I
Because I
just
remember in lockdown, I remember having lots of it.
oh really?
Yeah, I remember having like the powder and everything. Because that's all you could do, right? It's either like I'd go to Regents or I'd Zwift, and that's all they did in lockdown. Uh,
Really?
I remember doing like a massive group ride once. It was like what in Zwift, it's the apocalypse one where it's like you ride up every mountain, and I remember bonking
Oh, the
at
Four
home,
Horsemen.
which that's the one, the Four Horsemen. That ride, I got up halfway up Alpe d'Huez and just bonked. I think I had too many gels or too much. I don't know. It's like the reverse bonk of I had too much sugar, but you're also
Mm,
on Zwift and I've overheated. I literally couldn't put like even 150 watts through the pedals. I was gone. I was just like
mate, like I
absolutely
am.
shredded.
So when on my 30th birthday, which was uh, a year and a half ago, I I decided to do the Four Horsemen in our house. I don't know if I told you the story, but I got halfway round and Swift had a like a weird moment disconnection. And what happened was I'd done a certain thing and I'd unlocked a bike, but the bike kept flashing up and I couldn't get rid of it. So what I did was it was like an achievement I unlocked. What I did was I ended up having to go into the garage, buy the bike for some reason, even though I'd unlocked it, and then get on with it. Anyway, so didn't think anything about it. Proceeded to cycle then for an hour, but I wasn't on the same Zwift thing. I wasn't on the Four Horsemen. I was actually just cycling the volcano circuit for a whole hour. And at that point, I'd already done 2.5 hours. So I ended up doing 2.5 hours and then an hour of the volcano circuit. So I had to stop. And that means I had to go out to Zwift all over again. And for anyone who's not done the horseman, whatever the fuck it's called, you get to the end and it's like you've done like 125 Ks. And then you see it says 7 kilometers to the end. And you're like, oh, easy breezy. But it's not because the last 7 kilometers is up to Wes. So you think you're like rattling through it at 35k an hour, and then you get to the last bit, and the last bit's an hour, and it's absolutely soul destroying, absolutely soul destroying. And I didn't even unlock the lightweight wheels either, so I was like, fuck it. So I'm never doing it ever.
So yeah, I just put it on what is it, Tempest Flats, Zone 2. That's all I do with Zwift. 90 minutes, Zone 2. I used to do intensity on it, but I just get so hot inside. And I did one of the pacemakers. It's like C, being like, oh, that was around my tempo like level. And I had a threshold heart rate of 175 just sitting in the group because I got so hot. But I was just like, absolutely wipes me out. I'm just not good at Zwift
Do
or
you want
good
me
at
to give you? Do
cycling.
you want me to? Do you want me to give you a pro tip? Right. So I people don't know this. I live in an incredibly old house. Like the ceilings are not that much taller than me. I'm 177 centimeters, so I'm not tall, and the ceilings are the same height as me, right? And my daughter's room anyway. And during the summer heat wave, it was like 30, 35 degrees inside my house because it retains heat really well. Um, and it turns out in the 70s, my granddad bought an air conditioner, a ginormous air conditioning unit, and we got that here. So we use the air conditioner in our house. And what you need to do, mate, is get yourself a massive air conditioner
And
with a
heck, it's
spout. It's got a huge spout. Well, maybe we'll put that on screen. It's got a huge spout, and I can get that room down to chilly 13 degrees.
ooh, maybe I need that because I already have the vac master. But I was like, already get told off because I'm too loud. Because I used to put headphones in when I'm on Swift, but now I got like we've got like portable speakers. I just attach that to like the computer, and then I'd play Jack Ryan really loudly. So this was like gunshots and shit like that. I need action. I need stimulation.
I want to I want to watch the film Dune, so I'm going to set aside some time to watch Dune, and I also would. Here's the thing. I also want to watch Oppenheimer while I'm on the turbo because I haven't seen it yet. But I don't know
I
if I'm
don't think
gonna
this is
like yeah
don't think this is how the directors made this movie.
me.
For someone to sit on Zwift and watch it, but
Hmm.
maybe you should watch Tenant on the turbo. That would be like that could like stimulate your mind because you're like, what the fuck is going on? I've watched many YouTube videos on like Tenant, and I still don't really know what's going on when I watch it. But Christopher Nolan said you came out and was like, just enjoy it. You don't have to think about it too deeply. So
Well, mate, the other thing we need to talk about. I shared you a referral code for Whoop, and
the
yeah, thank you. And before coming on, you're returning the Whoop. So
Whoop is
you're
on my wrist. I took it off, and then I realized, and then I started like I forgot to cancel it. So they were like trying to charge my card. And then for some reason they gave me another week free trial. So I was like, well, I gotta rinse it, so I'll put it back on. And then I had it on,
right.
and then yesterday Christina was like, grabbed my hand and was like, I thought you were getting rid of this. And I was like, I am.
Ah,
I, she's as invested in my sleep movements as I was, but
okay.
I find that it is sort of everything is interesting, like knowing your strain, knowing your recovery,
Okay.
knowing you sleep. But then I am also like, I have gone 33 years knowing all of this stuff, like not knowing it, and I live my life perfectly, and I
Hmm.
still go out my bike. And it's kind of like, do I really need to spend like what 16 to £27 a month to know all of this stuff when
Hmm.
I'm just an amateur? As in, it's a nice thing to have if you like want to, if you want to learn how to sleep better. But I'm just accepted that I think my sleep will probably be bad, and eventually I'll have a kid, and then I know it's definitely going to be even worse. So I don't need an app or a device to tell me all of these things because I know when I'm tired, I know when I feel a bit more recovered, and I know when I've had a hard ride. But it is good. What I did like is the calories. Knowing how many calories I've burnt was good.
Hmm. Like
I guess
RMR
if you
kind
want
of
to,
thing.
yeah, like we want to know when you, and I guess yeah, and like I guess seeing how what your heart rate's like and stuff like that.
So
I think if I was more into like I want to be the best physical specimen I could ever be, I'd probably be like, this is really good. But I just go on the flitter of, I do like performance to a certain level, but I don't want to be too entwined with looking at it and constantly looking at all of my stats as well. Is probably another thing of, it's probably not healthy to know all of these things, right?
so
Well, you're a Whoop user for multiple years now. Is it? How have
I'm
you
a Whoop
found it?
user for a long time. How have I found it? Sometimes I feel like Whoop gaslights me, if I'm honest with you. Um, so I'll tell you how many recoveries I'm on. I'm on. This is really thrilling for everybody listening at home. I'm on 673 recoveries. So it's nearly 2 years.
But what does that mean?
I've had 673 sleeps. There was a period for 2 weeks where I lost the charger, and
Uh,
yeah, couldn't charge it. Um, so I sometimes I feel that I get a little bit gaslit by the Whoop. If I'm honest with you, that is um, so the Whoop has a recovery score, right? And the recovery score is based on heart rate variance, which crash course for everybody. Heart rate variance is the time in milliseconds between your heartbeats, essentially. So it's supposed to be a metric of fitness or recovery or strain and strain. So when your HRV is lower, that means your heart is working faster and it will impact your recovery because you're not as refreshed. Now, sometimes I find that I am tired, like I feel tired, and my Whoop will give me like a 95% recovery score. And it's based on my body. There's also a few other things that I find slightly strange with the Whoop. My resting heart rate, according to Whoop, is 48 beats a minute, but that's my like overnight sleeping rate.
Like when you're sleeping, yeah.
Yeah, and that I don't know if that's really my resting heart rate. My resting heart rate will probably be closer to 65 because you're much lower when you're sedentary or you're sleeping. So that's the thing I find slightly difficult, and I'm very good at wasting money, right? So I also put it into Training Peaks, and then Training Peaks looks at that and says your resting heart rate is 48, and my max is 204. So it looks like I've got the same metrics as fucking Tadej Pogacar. Well, I really don't. So, if you look at that range, you're like, well, there's a 150 beat range there. Easy. But there's clearly not. I had a conversation with this about guy I work with a guy I work with, and he was saying that the thing about the Whoop, if you were an athlete or if you were unemployed or on gardening leave or on like long-term vacation, the Whoop would be really good because you would set it to wake you up when you've got a recovery score. So you can set it to vibrate and then it wakes you up in the morning, right? Like whenever you've slept enough. However, I have a 2-year-old child who doesn't sleep that often. I also have a full-time job. It's quite stressful. And I have other commitments in life. And what you can't do is go, it says to you, oh, you can do a large strain day today. Well, I kind of can't because I've also got to go to work. And even if you did 10 hours a week on a bike, so 2 Monday, 2 Wednesday, 2 Friday, 4 Sunday, that's still quite a big week of training. And you still wouldn't necessarily meet the fitness goals that you would like to have to the week. Saying that, I wear it every day and I'm never giving it back. So,
I I do like the it. What it did do is make me go to bed earlier. Like if you're like, I want to get better at sleep, it is really good at doing that because it will be
yeah.
like, you should be in bed, and you're like in a pub.
The other thing as well, so I don't really, really drink anymore, right?
Yeah,
I'm on the Lucky Saints now when we do this podcast. And um, I found that the alcohol had such a massive effect on my body. And it also was really good at telling me when I was going to get sick because it has 6 metrics, right, that generally tell you where you are. So it's like heart rate variance, skin temperature, resting heart rate, blood oxygen, and a respiratory rate. And, sometimes one of those is off. And it's like when I got COVID, my
yeah,
respiratory rate was really high. My heart rate variance was really low. My resting rate was like 70, 75. And that was like 2 days before I actually felt the effects of it. So it is good for that. Good for, I think it's good for enforcing good habits. I don't think it solves anything. I think that's what it comes down to on a
yeah,
fundamental level for normal people.
yeah. I think if you're filling out that journal that comes up every
Oh, I
like
don't do that
night
anymore.
of like,
Don't do that anymore.
why not? Oh,
I don't do it anymore because I don't do it anymore because I think the reinforcing behavior that it does, it's pretty marginal gains for me. And my daughter wakes up twice a night. And do you know it would be really good gains? If I actually was able to sleep throughout the night without waking up, getting out of bed. So, you could argue that reading half an hour before I go to sleep might increase my sleep by 2%, but that doesn't even touch the walls when I'm awake for an hour at night. So, like that's what
yeah,
it comes down to.
yeah. I did the same thing for what about 2 weeks, and then it's like, we don't know why you don't sleep that much, kind of thing. Because I think I'll sleep about 6 hours every night, but I'm just
Really.
like a light sleeper. I don't really go into deep sleep that often, but
The
maybe
thing
I
I
need to like,
the thing it makes me think is like you said, it's like if you get a crap sleep score, you're like, oh, okay, need to have a good sleep and have a good one because I need it. My body needs that sleep. And then I don't know, like my wife and I went to bed at 9:15 last week. Absolutely, my off the scale recovery score. And
Yeah, it's good at that. So if you want to get better at sleeping, get a Whoop. Everything
yeah,
else, it will be hard to yeah, it's like hard to sell you one. But if you want to get better at sleeping, it's good
my
for
referral code is in the show notes below. Feel free to use it. Thank you very much.
you. What is it? The most annoying thing about Whoop is that it gets into your, I guess, your cookies and all of that, and then all your YouTube adverts are like these gym bros and gym people are like, I wear my Whoop because it's the only one that tracks my fitness, and it is probably the most annoying advert that comes up at the moment.
I so Clarice, my wife, gets targeted ads all the time because things like this podcast, you know, every Instagram, all that kind of stuff. So she gets loads of uh, adverts for Whoop and loads of adverts for Map and like Factor and like other like the Strava, like random things, Morton, whatever. And she got a Whoop. Hers arrived this morning, and it was a
Ah,
slow process of her going. Do you know what? I think I might get a Whoop. And then I pinged her my referral code. And then over the weekend, she was at a spa with a friend of hers, and it said, Clarissa McDonald has used your referral code. And I was like, we got there in the
that's
end,
great
boys.
to hear.
Mum and Dad are on Whoops.
The Whoop family. Sweet. Shall we end section 1 here? Go to a break.
Yeah. Head to a break. Cheers. Welcome back, everybody. Section 2. More things on NJ's maniacal list of things he thought about the past month. NJ, why don't you walk us through Panomal's new gravel thing? I'm
Well,
sorry, but in the Venn diagram of social media, Panomal and gravel could not be a finer mix.
the where do I don't even know where to really begin with this, but I don't want to get into it too much because I think it's good that they have a male and a female team. However you see diversity is up to you. So I'm not gonna go on to that.
Okay.
But what was funny in one of our group chats was that one of the guys said the their press picture looked like the Bullingdon Club. So for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's like this. Is it is it Oxford or Cambridge University,
Oxford.
or is it Eton? Oxford University, posh boys club. They wear like what tails and that, and Boris Johnson, David
David
Cameron were in
Cameron.
it for non UK listeners. But that's it. So we're talking as we're on the discussion of kit.
Yeah.
There was a Tory MP who was talking about the no-go zones of London. So I was thinking, what kit in London is like no-go? Like kits that you just don't see.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
going to start off with Q36.5. They have a pro team. I know that their kit gets sold in like London. I've never actually seen anyone wear the kit. Have you ever met anyone who wears a Q36.5 kit?
Yeah,
I've not
Vincenzo
met anyone.
Nibali, but he probably gets paid to wear it. So I mean,
He's got his own
for
range. The
all
Shark's got his
intents.
own range,
I see.
but it's not popped up. It's not popped up. I've seen more Van Rysel
I mean,
than the
yeah,
Q36.5.
yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, Van Ryder kit's great. The shoes are great. The shoes are one of the
All
best
their
things.
new stuff looks amazing. Even their new bike looks amazing.
Yeah, shout out Van Ryder. We should see. We talked about this on the last episode. Do you need to buy one of their bikes?
Hey, we got to wait for the whole range. You don't want to buy the first thing that they bring out. We need a bit more development.
Right. The other kit that I've never seen anyone buy. I've seen people wear it. Is the Baylor kit. Um, I know that they've got a big um, budget for partner marketing, Instagram marketing, ambassadors, but I don't know where to buy it, and I don't know if I've ever seen anyone actually buy it. The other thing as well is maybe we cut this out, but if you go on their Instagram, the only people that have tagged their kit are people that are sponsored by them. So if you go on the tagged photos and then you click on a person's profile, they're always a supported rider or a sponsored rider or an ambassador, whatever you want to call it. But I don't, yeah, I wouldn't know where to buy it. And look, it looks like any other kit. And I mean, they're also called the Global Cycling Club, like Panamal is International Cycling Club. And maybe Spin Cycle Cycling Club can be called the Interdimensional Cycling Club or something. I don't know, like, how many people do we really need to
You got
mention?
a, you got a you got a shoehorn or like crowbar, PAVÉ, Galactic
Yeah,
Cycling Club in there.
yeah,
London's premium. You gotta be close to the London's premium PAVÉ Cycling Club.
yeah. Maybe it'd be like PAVÉ Privateers or PAVÉ Adventurers because that's the
PAVÉ
kind of
perverts.
easy now. And so yeah, I don't know. The Baylor kit, the other kits as well though is the the more niche kits that sponsor world tour teams, right? Like
Yeah,
Ineos's Gobic,
yeah.
and you had a few as well, right?
Is it Argu, the one who does Lotto? No, Jumbo, and they do GGN's kit now. Is it
Okay,
AGU? Is that who they're called? Argu. Uh,
Aggie, yeah.
yeah. Vermark. Is it Vermark? They used to do the quick step back in the
Yeah,
day.
and the other kit as well is
Very
the one.
Belgium. I imagine you can buy them like in Belgium easily. They seem it'd be like the quick. They're probably like the quick step Lotto, and then the Flanders team.
And the other one as well is the whoever makes the Team GB road kit.
Oh, Callas.
They
Yeah,
make
I've never seen outside of custom kit. I've never seen them actually sell a normal kit. No, I'm just wearing Callas stuff, which doesn't have like a team brand on it, unless that's all they do.
but no, wear whatever you want. But all we're saying is tell us where to buy this kit.
Apart from a website, we want to go and shop. I need to feel the materials.
Well, they're all most cycling kits made in the same factory anyway, isn't it? Really?
It is, but as we're also talking about pros, the pro world.
Yeah.
So Lotto Destiny have a development team,
Okay.
and the dev team isn't called Destiny's Child. Why?
Destiny's Child. That's
We, we got
hey,
we got to let that think. You know,
no.
it came to my notice on my Twitter feed, and I have to spread the word.
All right.
We need to get the word out that it shouldn't just be called Lotto Destiny Dev Team. It should be called Destiny's Child.
Fair. I mean, like the thing about it as well, like a lot of these kits, and we've said it before, right? Like I don't know. Actually, we've got Ultra Cycling coming up, right? In a couple of weeks, and they've got super. I actually really like their kit. Super, super interesting. Different color bib, different designs, something a bit. But I think that a lot of the kits, we went through a transition, right? It was like we've talked about before: quarter zips, tight chest, baggy arms, black bin bag jackets, and then Rafa came along and better material, better fit. better design everywhere. And then there are a lot of brands that did that, and then there are now a lot of brands that are looking fairly similar. And I guess it's just a well, maybe it goes back to the thing we talked about with that Mac the Crusade thing, that everyone's kind of doing the similar sort of color palette, and they all slightly merge into one. I mean, if you were designing a kit, what would you do?
What would I do? Well, I look at I look at all the kits and I'm like, well, every kit
Mm.
has a is plain design.
Hmm.
So why would I make a kit? Well, I guess there's two thoughts of people only wear like one color and then
Hmm.
probably like conservative colors because most people don't want to wear wacky shit. So I'd be you kind of got to have a unique selling point about your kit, right?
Hmm.
Like we heard from like Angry Pablo, they're very much about the sustainability and how they produce their kit and
Hmm.
found the right factory to sort of, I guess, fit with the company values. Or
Yeah.
you go along the route of with Rafa, their sort of unique thing was sort of like it has that, I guess, 70s kind of heritage look about it. And then you've got
Yeah.
the band on the arm as well. So
Hmm.
as soon as you look at it, you know it's a Rafa kit. And then with Matt, they kind of got a bit more graphic design about them.
Yeah.
I would say because they kind of got, I guess, a more diverse color palette and color combinations that you get on the kit. And
Hmm.
then they're also throughout the, I guess, the different seasons that they have quite a lot of dynamic, I guess, shapes within it as well. When
Okay.
I'm thinking about like the ones where it's like lots, like kind of paneling with lots of different colors. And
Hmm.
then, but I kind of feel like all the Australian ones are like that. So when I think about like Attacker and Pedal Mafia, they're all sort of got a far greater thought on like the sort of graphic design of their kits, whereas I guess the more European kits are a bit more like classic one color kit, right? So I guess what do you think? Or maybe I'm
For
just
me,
making shit up.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
For me, so obviously I only really wear map kit, and I were to do a kit, I would want the colours to work between seasons. So what I found recently is that I can't really wear something if I want to buy something new, it might not match with last season's kit because they've done such a different colour palette. And then there's the whole
yeah,
thing of I've got a whole cupboard full of stuff there, and it's difficult to kind of mix and match the colours without looking like a fucking optical illusion. So that would be it. The other thing I would do is I would probably make much more conscious. I'm not throwing shade on anyone here. This is just the nature of I would make the men's and the women's cut actually different for more diversity on the female side. First of all, frankly, I'm on record. I sometimes wear women's kit because I just go one size up and it fits me. I'm not a big bloke. Um, I would do that, and the other thing I would do is I would probably I just make the design. I would do two lines of kit. I would do a wacky kit and I would just do plain block color kit because if you're somewhere in between, I always find it difficult. Like some days I just wear all like this week, past weekend when I saw you, I just wore all black kit because I just felt like wearing all black kit. Some days I feel like showing off my creative side, and I think that's what I would primarily do. I think the map kit for me is the best one. I think sometimes they don't have enough in their range. Panel they'll sell you everything. They literally sell everything. Like ear warmers, shoe toe covers, and who knows. But I would do that, and I would just do everything the same way. Uniform design, uniformed everything. So then you know where you are. a good company that does that is actually Fingers Crossed. I really like Fingers Crossed. They don't make
Yeah,
kit themselves. Oh, sorry, like bibs, nicks. They
yeah,
make
just
just arm
accessories.
warmers, gloves, and I think they're so good at having something uniformed but in different colors, so you can cookie cutter, put it different places. That's what I would personally do. I just make it a simple process, just so people can be a bit
Yeah,
utilitarian. Here you go. That's what I do.
yeah. I think if you can, yeah, I think if I had a kit, it'd be like maybe I'll just do. You could have like blood body normal, and then you just go in on like some cool like sleeve designs. I think,
Mm,
or just only have like long sleeve jersey design. That's it, and you kind of like design it like old, like motorbike. You know, like what is it?
mm,
Speedway kind of liveries and stuff like that. I think there's probably quite a lot of things you could, I guess, bring to it. Like when we were speaking to Trash and they're talking about the kit and looking
mm,
at like sort of car liveries and all of that stuff would be probably quite cool. I think I just find, despite owning a lot of just, I guess, plain kit, because I'm a cheapskate and only buying the archive sales and whatever deals we can get our hands on. But if I
mm.
had unlimited money, the whole wardrobe would look completely different. It'd be whatever the most visually interesting and bright colors are. Because I'm also like, I'm a road user and I want people to see me as well. So
Mm.
there is always that in my mind of like, why would I wear black or why would I wear green, despite me wearing like green bibs and a green top recently over winter, and being on record to say I don't like wearing green kit because it'll just camouflage into all the trees and stuff like that. But yeah, I would happily just wear like some like just wacky coloured kit because it's just like it's a bit of fun, isn't it? I
I
don't really care about the coolness or the seriousness of cycling like everyone else.
I I just think I just want to have like a uniform look. When we had Jordan's episode came out on Monday or last week. Um, I am of that uniform style, and I just want it to look complete. And I don't get me wrong, I don't ride my bike enough for me to really care about anything else.
But also, when you talk about uniform stuff, it's a bit of a lie because Map makes shoes, but you don't have Map shoes.
No, I have U-Dog shoes, and I rate them for the lace ups. They send me shoes, and I rate them. So if anybody would like to know more, you can send me a DM, Panel Ambassador, Mr. Ambassador, they call me. The Ferrero Rochers are out.
Look at that. The plug came out from downtown. We weren't even, that wasn't even a setup. He's just
I was able to stay up,
natural.
yeah. So yeah, I do that. But I'm looking forward to having Alter on in a couple of weeks' time. That's going to come out probably what a month from now, if the schedule's right.
Sometime in April
Yeah, so
or
um,
late April.
Ben from Alter is going to come on our group ride, Pints and PAVÉ on April the 1st. You can check our socials for the link. Second plug of the podcast.
We actually, how did our recon go?
Oh. Should we head to section 3? We can talk about Pints and PAVÉs, and then we can also talk
Yeah.
about season reflections. Right. We'll see you all in a bit.
Yeah. Welcome back, everyone. So we teased you in the last section about the recce for Pints and PAVÉ. So Cam, how did you find the recce went? After you may have seen the video after you, how many watts did you put down on the 40 PAVÉ?
It's like 850 for 10 seconds at one point.
Oh, gliding over the cobbles.
Yeah, I just
Cam still hasn't had a 40 though, because at the weekend, basically the TikTokers and influencers are out and the queue goes around the corner. So we're like, we will not be queuing up because it probably takes a good hour to get served.
so I investigated that after the fact, and I just wanted to see what people are putting on, like location stories for Instagram after, and if
Yeah.
people were like queued for an hour and a half for this, really glad I came kind of thing. And so that was a bit strange. But yeah, the thing is, I'm never going to be able to get the Fortitude KOM on that cobble street because
It's like 250k an hour or something.
yeah, so people's GPS go go weird in that sector of town. So one guy did it in 2 seconds, and he was 250k an hour. And I was like, well, I'm just never going to get this, frankly. So yeah, 40k an hour is my current speed down there. Nearly cut that tourist in half flying down the PAVÉ, and it's like quite a sharp end at the other end of the thing. So
It
nearly
is.
came off the bike at the main road on the other end. But um, it was good. We're going to do another recce. This goes out on Monday, right? So we've done another recce Sunday just gone, and the route will be updated on Strava uh, as of time of release. Looking forward to it. We've got some good bits. So kind of goes round to Wapping now. There's going to be a
Yeah.
segment that I'm going to create around um, Mansion House, Garlic Hill, that bit that goes the loop.
Oh,
I'm going to
yeah.
behind where you work, and I'm going to do that as the spin cycle KOM. So uh, when the route gets released,
Oh,
there's like a little round bit near Blackfriars, not Blackfriars, but near Southwark Bridge. So get that on your Wahoo because that's going to be the KOM. So whoever gets
near.
lost
It's near
around there,
this. It's near the Sainsbury's by. Was it Mansion
Mansion House.
House?
Yeah, it's behind the Sainsbury's, so we'll sort that. So
Where
yeah,
yeah, it's
looking
basically where
forward to it.
I think it's where Virgin Fitness's offices are. I'm fairly sure it's Virgin Fitness at the bottom of that sort of weird hill, and it's like a hotel. But maybe do 5 laps of that. That'd be the ultimate challenge, wouldn't it? Make a Strava segment X5. How fast can you go around it? It's like I think the KOM is 22 seconds. So how, you've heard of the hour record. What about the 60-second record?
I'm
How
going to try
far?
and best that on. I'm going to try and best that yesterday when this comes out. I'm going to try and do the KOM for that.
Yeah. What we didn't do on our first recon is have the longest section that will be on there is the tobacco dock section, which is 400 meters of cobbles, which we
Not
didn't
to be
recce.
ridden
But
on the pavement. Not to be ridden on the pavement though. It has to be centre of the middle, like Carrefour de Lave. Not sorry, not Carrefour. Arenberg Trench.
yeah, I would say that I did it on my felt on a carbon bike, not built for cobbles. 25 width on the tires. The only segment that I was like, "This is horrible," was the church part in round the Barbican, mainly because it's. I guess we've got there's just a lot of furniture about, so you kind of have to slow down, and that's when it starts getting a bit
Oh yeah, you
difficult.
hated that.
Everything else was fine. So like,
That
don't
was
worry about
I
your
like
bike.
that. I like that
I
bit.
won't.
You
Yeah,
hated that bit.
yeah. I think it's because we have to slow down, and it gets a bit rocky. If you can slam it, it'll be fine. Like most of these segments, but be fine.
So yeah, also t-shirts still available on spincyclepodcast.com. Um, also buy them on the day. If you buy them now, it just makes it easier for me to do the inventory. They should be coming this week, and I will run them up to Via. So if anyone at Via is listening, I'm going to email you because I'd like to drop off the t-shirts there. So and yeah, so available on the day as well. We'll distribute them, and then we're going to head to the brewery opposite potentially. And
Is it Babel House? I was in it the other day, testing it out.
any good?
It was good. I got some little chicken tendies, which were pretty nice. And I don't drink beer, so I had a vodka lime soda, and that was nice.
Okay. So we are towards the end. So we finished season one, but it's only season one for you and I because of
Of how we
administrative,
book everyone.
yeah, of administrative reasons, how we do the clips, how we do photos. And Jay, would you like to give the audience some reflections on how you felt season one is going? So we can cue the self-loathing now, if you fancy it.
I think it went well. I guess it was great to talk to the 3 clubs that we spoke to. So GFGL, Trash Mile, and our beloved CGC. with Yannick, which were all good. All I think it shows off that I guess diverse nature of all the clubs.
Mhm.
So like there's something for everyone. Even if you want to race, there's two different types of race teams you could go for as well, which is, and they're both, I would say, quite polar opposite. Despite both racing, they both have very clear, I guess, definitions of what their core values are, which I thought was really, really good. Because I guess when you think about racing and you think about teams, they might all be the same, but I think that kind of shows a nice diversity within the scene. It was great talking to the ZF Media guys.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of great pub chat, great
Yes,
fun. I'm fairly sure they'll both be at Pints and PAVÉ as well.
yes,
And
should be.
then, sort of, I guess on the individual front, we had quite a lot of them. Gareth taking the hot spot for an hour and 40,
Right.
telling us some great stories.
That story he told us when he had to go into someone's shed to borrow a spanner is I tell people that story like it's my own. It's one of the
I
funniest things
know
I've ever heard.
it's a great cafe when people because people talk to us about the podcast all the time. It's a great.
Yeah,
He is the if you want to know what cycling's all about, he is a good storyteller, and he
yeah.
talks about his passions very well.
Mm.
I love speaking to Miles as well, getting to know him.
Shout out
All
Mars.
the work, all the work that he's doing with the Cycling Culture Club as well.
Hmm.
And then me and him are going to work on a collab at some point to do the Cycling
Awesome.
Culture Club as well. We don't know what it is, but he asked me to help out, and I said yes.
That's
So
cool.
at some point we'll be doing something. Um,
Cool.
how, and then we also had our first woman on in Donna,
Yeah.
which was amazing to have. She's a good friend of both of ours as well. So it was really,
Yeah.
really good to have her as the first guest.
Mm. I, for me, I mean, I think I said it on the midway one. First of all, thank you everybody for listening. Like, when you and I had this idea, we didn't really know where it would take us, and we didn't really know. I don't think we really knew if anyone outside of our friends would really listen to it, right? We were just keen just to
Yeah.
talk to people, like, because it's all well and good going for a ride with someone or chatting at a cafe, but it's kind of a means to an end, and it's a friendship you start, and then you follow up, and you have to go on lots of different rides before you really get to know someone. Frankly. And I think what we found is that talking to these to people with for an extended period of time, we've become quite friendly with some really cracking people quite quickly, and that's been really rewarding for us personally. And it's then really nice that people have listened to the podcast and they've had the same sort of feeling that they've got to know someone that they didn't know before, and I think that's a good thing. Um, but on a personal front, um, I still I'm still trying to reconcile with the fact that people listen to our podcast. Like, like,
I'm fine with it. When you said that someone was listening to it in Ukraine, I was like, what? Oh,
yeah.
where were the other outside of UK and I guess Europe? What else was there in like
So
this listening downloads?
it's
And
quite
whilst you look,
expensive. Go on.
I was gonna say whilst you look that up, we also went to the London Academy launch as well, didn't we? Like last week?
Oh,
Yeah,
shout
it
out
was last
Sarah.
week. So yeah, it was a great evening,
Amazing.
and soon your friend and mine, Mr. Other
Hmm.
Roots, Mr. Kick Designer,
Marco
Marky
Donahue.
Mark himself,
Hey, Mark.
will be joining us. Will be joining us
Yeah, he
for a
will
little
be.
show with him. He
That's
hasn't
exciting.
agreed to come on, but we will force him to come on. He
So,
has agreed to come on.
um, so it's reached quite wide. So, obviously, the UK is our main audience. People can know this. So, 75% of our listeners are from the UK, and most of our listeners are in Southwark, which is fun. The second biggest market for us is actually the US, but I would like to say hello to these are all of our one listeners. I'd like to say hello to the listener in Malta, Uganda, Ukraine, Panama, the Hungarians, the Ghanaians, and the two people in Malaysia that listen to our podcast. Because I
We're
told you
gone
that
global, baby.
we've got. I told you that at the weekend, didn't I? When we were in the
Are you
place we
cycling? You're cycling Pitbull. You're Mr. Worldwide now.
we not supposed to quattro. So we no, like to thank everybody for listening. It's really great that you enjoyed our podcast in whatever way you found us. You know, a lot of people found us through the video that went slightly viral on Instagram, but and have stuck around for the other kind of ramblings that we do. But and also, I think I spoke about this with Jordan um, on Monday when his episode came out, saying like thank you from the both of us. That was all of the guests in season one, just so people know, all of the guests in season one recorded podcasts with us without us releasing any podcasts or even having social media. So we told people we were doing a podcast and they came on for an hour and a half it takes to get an hour episode, right? By the time we edit it down and, you know, the breaks and a bit like that. And all of these great people put a lot of faith in us to, and some of them we didn't even know. John and Ben from Trash Bar, we didn't know. We kind of knew them from regions, but we didn't actually know them. So I guess the big thing for us is thanks to everybody for listening, but also thanks to the first season of our guests coming on. And we've got some really cool guests in the pipeline coming up. As we mentioned, Alta Cycling are coming on. They're a great startup cycling brand that NJ and I are both big fans of. So um, they reached out to us. We said yes, and we're like really buzzing about that. And there's some other cool guests coming up. And if Thomas Martinez, a cycling tattooist, is either watching or listening to this, stop leaving me on red on Instagram because you know you want to come. I turned up on your YouTube page. The least you can do is turn up on mine, Thomas. Um, any last reflections before we head off?
Yeah, I would say that you said thank you in a much better way than I did. You're like you're giving it the heart. You're giving it the deeper meaningfuls, and here's me being like Mr. Worldwide. He writes Campagnola with Campagnola. But yeah, I appreciate everyone who I guess trust in our vision and our I guess our project that we our this little I guess hobby that we've started, which is slowly I guess building traction in some way.
Yeah,
And we're I guess the idea is we will hopefully get bigger guests that can tell I guess unique diverse stories, as well as I guess helping. We'll also want to get on more clubs and more I guess individuals that maybe people don't know who might not have the reach, but we think they deserve to have the platform and the reach as well. So we're trying to I guess get people from all over London and all over the UK and wider afoot as well around the world. So I guess just stick with us and hopefully come on the journey with us, and who knows where we'll end up.
great. Well, see you later, everyone.
Yep. See you later. Hope you enjoy it.
Bye.
Bye.